Hi, my name is Mark Biernot. I'm a monetary economist. In this video, I want to talk about Crimea, the liberation of Crimea by the Ukrainians. It's significant in this geopolitical event and how it might be accomplished. There's a lot of buzz out there, people talking about it because Ukraine has been hollowing out the air defenses, the S-400. It's almost every day we read about this. A lot of hopeful news. My message is be patient, okay? Let's talk about Crimea. Last time I was in Crimea, it was very mountainous. You've got Roman Kosh. It's over 1,500 meters tall, over 5,000 feet in elevation. That's almost on par with Mount Mitchell in North Carolina. Think of the Appalachian Mountain chain. A lot of people don't realize how mountainous this is. It's, if you want to film some futuristic science fiction or fantasy landscape, you don't have to go to New Zealand. You can go to Crimea. It's got these incredible peaks, mountains, river, valleys, gorges, springs, lakes, seas. Actually, there's this place where it's so much salt, it's kind of like a Dead Sea in Crimea. Amazing landscape. What does that mean? It means that if in the context of the abstract context of the gameplay I talked about in the other videos, the game theory, you put a garrison there, it's ×2 defense minimum. Probably with some minor fortifications, it's ×3. And that is very hard, if not impossible, to dislodge. Because if you're ×3 defense as a defender, and you need at least 3-to-1 ratio to attack, then the numbers just don't work out. 2023, Ukraine did an offensive in the summer, and it was not successful because they were attacking against fortified positions. It was kind of like 1863, July 3rd, Pickett's charge against, fortified positions of the Union Army and artillery defense. Normally, I know they were under pressure because of NATO advice, but that's done with heavy air support. And that is something Ukraine didn't have. Think about World War II in the liberation of even the Italian boot, these mountainous, rugged terrain. You had round-the-clock B-17s, B-29s, B-26s, just round-the-clock pounding that. And that's not something that Ukraine has. So we may get Ukraine, we may get a few F-16s, etc., but it's not the same. And so the question is, given that Crimea is so mountainous, and they could put a garrison there that could withstand anything, how's that objective going to be achieved? It's a very important objective because I keep on saying one day you guys will wake up and see the world will change. Some geopolitical event will make it such that the world will change around us. And that geopolitical event could be the liberation of Crimea that will put the straw on the camel's back of the oligarch boyar control in Moscow. So one of the clues to this, of how Ukraine can do this, is World War I, Germans started using these Hutier tactics or infiltration tactics. Instead of going straight on, frontal assault, traditional, combat situation, they used infiltration tactics where they'll use special squads and troops to penetrate behind the lines, go around it. And this is one avenue that Ukraine can pursue. And Ukraine has to be very clever because in Lao Tzu said, the worst mistake you can make is underestimate your enemy. So how are they going to do this? One idea here is obviously the carriage bridge, but in addition to that, they'd have to knock off yet the northern city. There's this hub, Jankoy, in the north, which all the rail lines converge on. Right now, they've got the 206 mechanized brigade station there. Don't know the full complement, fog of war, probably, let's say, 4,000 men with fortifications and a little bit, not high mountains, but a little bit hilly, rugged terrain. That may be you take 4,000 times, let's say 3, because of defense, in the gameplay, defense. So that's like 12,000 to achieve a 3-to-1 ratio. You need 36,000 Ukrainians actually in position there. And Ukraine can get, again, infiltration tactics behind the lines, but they can't get a full field army with that much firepower to dislodge that garrison. It seems that according to the deep state map, etc., Russia does not have a lot of garrisons in Ukraine. It mostly has airfields and air defenses, which is good news. So ultimately, how they are going to dislodge this, liberate Crimea, and it is a liberation because the semi-autonomous Republic of Crimea belongs to Ukraine and not Russia. Don't believe the linguistic argument. Last time I was in Ukraine, all the Russian speakers I spoke to, they wanted to be part of this great European community, this peaceful European community, and Ukraine will be someday. Probably one of the reasons Putin wants it so much, or the Russians want it so much, is Ukraine is arguably one of the richest countries in all of Europe. It's sitting on $12-13 trillion of mineral wealth. It's another video. So to get this Crimea liberated, Ukraine has to be extremely patient, continue to hollow it out. And it may not even be their objective. It may be a distraction for something else. And even if I knew that information, I wouldn't say it publicly. So they have to be thinking in terms of 2025, 2026. But here's the good news. Ukraine, the hunters can be hunted. You get infiltration, you get partisans moving in that area, then any occupiers, they can't sustain an army in those mountains. What are they going to be eating? Wild berries? I've got the scoriolata back here. I could probably survive for quite a long time. These are things that the Spanish brought here 500 years ago and escaped cultivation. They're all through these woods. So I personally can forage, but not a whole Russian army can't forage. You cut off that carriage bridge, you occupy that logistical hub in the north somehow, and I don't know the answer to that. Maybe you blow the rail lines, but rail lines are very easy to repair. But you can do something, and it becomes a war of attrition, and they will be just, on edge, paranoia, no supplies, no good food. They can live in the mountains, like I said, for a while, but not that long. Tables will turn. You don't even have to, what will happen, you don't have to do that frontal assault. You don't want to do that frontal assault. You want to thin it out, hollow it out, siege warfare, old school, until there's nothing left there. And not initially, but later, you activate the partisans, activate the infiltration tactics, and it would be game over for Russia. So why do I even make these videos? Because I want to make the world a better place. It's hard to believe. It's not necessarily my dream to wake up and make videos about this. It breaks my heart. But to make the world a better place, I believe this Crimea is the key. It's like almost like a diamond shape. It's a diamond. It's a diamond in the rough that Ukraine needs to liberate in order to set in motion a domino effect of geopolitical events. And it will bring that house of cards down. So it's good news. But my message is be patient. Don't expect this to be like a game simulation that, it's all over. We could all talk about it. No, we're talking months. We're talking years of very strategic planning. And I want to go to that swallow's nest, Cereal's Castle again. So thank you very much, guys. Ukraine is going to win this. And Crimea will be liberated. Have a great day. My name is Mark Bernot. I'm a monetary economist. Thank you very much.